Hello, my name is Benjamin Hart. I'm an American attorney and the managing director of Integrity Legal here in Bangkok, Thailand. As the title of this video suggests, we're discussing Thai retirement visas of any category. This doesn't pertain specifically to Thai O retirement visas nor to Thai OA retirement visas. We're just talking about all retirement visas because we're talking about banking. And for those who are unaware, those who wish to retire in Thailand, generally speaking, you either need to show presumably a pension or some kind of income from overseas coming into a Thai bank account in the amount of 65,000 baht or more, or you need to be able to show a bank balance of 800,000 baht in a Thai bank account that's maintained over a certain period of time. And now understand there are various rules associated with the amount of that balance that has to remain unchanged throughout the year. We have other videos on this channel where we discuss that at length. The purpose of this video is to talk about banking facilities specifically. I've seen a number of comments on our channel as well as other channels throughout YouTube where criticism or concerns, maybe I should say, regarding the banking system of Thailand and holding 800,000 baht in a bank account is brought up, where they basically say, people are basically saying, well, I'm not going to do a retirement visa because I'm afraid there'll be some kind of bail-in associated with the Thai banks. I understand people's concerns with that, and I certainly think it's especially warranted looking back on the last 20 years. But I personally think that the Thai banking system, now I could get burned on this at some point, and if I do, so be it. But this is just my observation as of the time of this video. My belief is the Thai banking system, in my opinion, is probably in relatively better shape than a lot of other countries, especially in the region, but throughout the world. One of the main reasons for this is all the problems they had back in '97 when they had the Asian financial crisis that began here in Thailand, and their banks were put under an intense amount of stress. And since then, they've really maintained their regulatory system regarding banking with that situation in mind. They're very well aware of the jitteriness associated, maybe I shouldn't say associated with, but jitteriness associated with banking generally, and the circumstances that occurred roughly a little more than 20 years ago. So the banking system, they have a lot of stress tests in place. I would argue the major stress test that has proven the Thai banking system is quite resilient has been the last 9 months, the COVID situation, the response. The banks are still fine. I don't see anything that leads me, at least, to believe, and again, I'm a layman when it comes to banking. It's just one man's observation, but I don't see anything that leads me to believe there are major concerns warranted associated with the integrity of the Thai banking system. Now, that stated, I understand people's concerns, but it is a requirement associated with Thai retirement visas. If it's possible for someone to have a pension rather than maintaining a balance, that's also a possibility. There are other types of visas to maintain long-term status in Thailand. Thailand Elite visas, the OX visa, although if banking's a concern, that might not be a good fit. If someone is married to a Thai national and they have concerns about banking, it's possible to get a marriage visa in Thailand, and depending upon circumstances, might not even be required to have a bank account. For example, marriage visa with a work permit, you don't need a bank account to maintain status in Thailand under marriage visa status. It's just one example. And the capital requirements in a bank account for a Thai marriage visa are lower than capital requirements in a bank account for a retirement visa. So while I totally understand where people's jitteriness comes from, I think it's unwarranted based on the circumstances.